Hey, Shalom, this is the brother Bud. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha HaKadosh. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Let me start off with this scripture here in Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Let me get it real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16, and it reads, Thus saith the Lord power Yahweh, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. So I want to apply the scripture to the mindset of men in today's society. They're not walking in the old paths. They're not walking in the ancient way. They're not walking in the manly way that the Most High created the nature of man to be. They're not residing in their true nature. You look at the average man today, he's very, very weak. Very, very weak. Not just lacking testosterone and physical strength, but weak mentally, weak spiritually, weak in every aspect that a man should be strong in. Even when you look at this red pill movement that has become such a huge thing, which a lot of these guys are actually agents, all right, on some of these mainstream channels. When you look at this whole red pill movement, even a lot of that is not manly, even though it comes off as manly. Because a man doesn't sit all day long complaining about a woman. A man just lives his life as a man should live, being a productor, being a builder, being a provider, being a conqueror, being a learner, being a leader, acquiring wisdom, all right, taking care of his physical health, spiritual health, mental health. A man just lives his life as a man. And if a woman doesn't want to get on his program, he'll tell a woman what he wants from her. And if she doesn't want to obey, he goes on about his business as a man. He doesn't sit and complain and whine and mope and grope all damn day long. Even with men in general that like to just cry all the damn time or bitch and moan when something doesn't go their way, or something doesn't please them, and they just, bitch about it. Well, man, why is it this, and why I gotta do that, and what is this, and what is that? Like a little boy that hasn't learned discipline yet. All right, he just complains about the situation that he's in instead of finding a solution to get out of that situation that will benefit him. All right, men lack that discernment in today's time because we haven't been brought up, in that understanding. Okay. That's why I started this lesson off with return to the old past. When you look at, the ancient ways of our ancient fathers and how, they did things and how they went out and conquered and, acquired wisdom and learned and led and, they were very, very manly in their nature. Even when you look at the act of Abraham leaving home and, having to journey off, leaving everything that he was familiar with and everything that he known, everything that he grew accustomed to knowing, he left all that to acquire the wisdom of the unknown, to acquire the wisdom of the true power Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? It takes a man to leave from his comfort and be uncomfortable to acquire what will benefit him as a man, right? The scriptures speak about the whole duty of man is what? Let me get that real quick. Over here in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13, it says, Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So the whole duty of man is to fear your Creator and keep his ways, keep his statutes, keep his laws. And you have to grow in that and learn in that by any means necessary, day after day, fighting to get better and fearing your power and keeping his ways, keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Not spending your day majority lusting and desiring bullshit that doesn't benefit you as a man. And I have a little article pulled up here that I want to read. It's a very small article, and it's on medium.com, and it says, Why are there so many weak men in society? Right? It says, and that's why, before I get into this article, that's why children are the way they are. That's why women act the way they act. All right? That's why even men do the shit that they do. All right? You have these young men gunning each other down, robbing. Like if real men came together and stood up for the righteous moral qualities that are supposed to be instilled in men and held people accountable for their actions, real strong, dominant men, the inner cities wouldn't be the way they are. The women wouldn't be the way they are. The children wouldn't be the way they are because men would take care of all these things. Men would get all this stuff situated. All right? Nothing can stop a conglomerate or a body or a union of strong men all on one accord. Nothing can stop that. Okay? Matter of fact, let me rephrase that. That unity has to be based within the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. It has to be based within the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. Let me stress that once again because you'll have movements that come up, and you have movements right now. You have a lot of extremist groups. You have a lot of groups that's dominated by men, but it's not rooted in the truth and spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So, a lot of times those groups, they're not really able to make real sustainable change that lasts through the test of time. They eventually get broken down or just end up not surviving throughout the years. So first and foremost, whatever men come together and has to be rooted in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Because you can be in a black unity group, all right, and have the strong men of the neighborhood and of the city come together to clean up, the community. But, eventually it's going to crack and crumble, right? Because your power lies with Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, all right? So let me get into this article, man. Why are there so many weak men in society? So it starts off by saying the modern man needs to rewire his brain and his thought process. And that's true because, to rewire something means to, reconfigure it, change it, renew it, wash it clean of all the filth that it's attained, right? So, for instance, the way that we've been wired here is, basically based off of how E wants men to be, right? E wants men to be subservient to women, subservient to the government and its laws, and not dominant and a leader of his own, all right? A man can't even rule in his own household because if the woman or the children feel unsafe or feel the man is a little bit too aggressive, they can call the government authorities and take the authority from the man, give it to the government, and have the government ruling that man's house instead of him ruling his house, right? So the way that we've been brought up in society is not the right way. Just because, society is a way that it is doesn't mean it's the right way, all right? And you have to determine that right way by the ways that your Creator has set forth for you to live by, okay? So continue reading. It says, we have been programmed by society and this instant gratifying culture to be laid back and careless, right? As long as a man got a little bit of money in his pockets, he's able to get a woman, right? He's gonna be laid back and careless. He ain't gonna really give a fuck about building something substantial, all right? Being a leader and acquiring wisdom. He ain't gonna really give a fuck about that. And that's what you see with these young men. For instance, you got and of course I'm speaking to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians because you're the biblical Hebrew Israelites. This truth is for you. But you got this young man, Kai Cenat, right? He's a streamer. He sits on his computer all day talking about gossip and doing foolish and childish and acts that, consist of just a whole bunch of folly. And you have a lot of other young men that follow suit in his behavior. That's not how young men should spend their time. All right? Young men should be, active in martial arts and reading and if you do watch podcasts or do watch videos, watching podcasts and videos that help you acquire wisdom on what it is to be a man and help you to grow in being that man, first and foremost, acquiring the wisdom, true knowledge and understanding of the scriptures, the word, all right, the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah, right? This truth keeps us from being laid back and careless because one of the things that the truth teaches us to be is to be diligent, all right? be diligent. And when you're diligent, it keeps your mind occupied. Right? The scriptures tell us to be diligent to keep up, to make our calling and election sure. When you're aspiring to achieve something, which we as the servants of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we're aspiring to achieve the kingdom, to receive a crown, to receive salvation. We're diligent in the actions that the Lord has called us to partake upon. Like the scriptures say, many are called, but few are chosen. We're diligent to be a part of that chosen, right? So you can't be laid back and careless as a man in anything that you want to achieve or do, right? Let's continue reading this article. It says, you must understand this as a man. Men today are weaker than ever, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. Remember how did I start off by saying this? It's not, men aren't just physically weak, they're weak in every nature that a man is supposed to be strong in. It says, there is no sense of confidence among young men, no self-esteem whatsoever. And that's a fault not only from our end. So many misconceptions have plagued our brains. Young men are lost. They lack a father figure in their life. And that's why we're grateful to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and the elder apostles of Great Millstone, because whether you had a physical father in the flesh or a spiritual father, the elder apostles of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua were ordained to show you the true way, all right, of life, and to show you what it truly means to be a man. All right, and they are your spiritual fathers that have corrected you. Matter of fact, let me get that precept. Over here in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 15, it says, matter of fact, let me start at verse 14. It says, I write not these things to shame you, but as my beloved sons, I warn you. This is Paul's writings. He also referred to the brothers as sons. It says, for though ye have 10,000 instructors in Hamashiach Yahushua, yet have ye not many fathers? For in Yahushua Hamashiach I have begotten you through the gospel. So, our spiritual fathers are the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and the men that we've learned from, right? It says, verse 16, wherefore I beseech you, be ye followers of me, for this cause have I sent you unto Timotheus, who is my beloved son, and faithful in the Lord. So he referred to as Timotheus as a beloved son. So you do have spiritual fathers, right? Now going back to the article, it says men lack that father figure in their life, right? And all men need a father figure in their life. All men need but it depends on, what you're following, all right? You need a man that's rooted and grounded in the righteous moral principles of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because you don't want a father figure that's a pimp that pimps out women, all right, or that's a drug dealer, or that's just a wicked ass nigga, a murderer, and he's teaching you how to murder and rob niggas. That's not the type of father figure you want, all right? But let's continue. It says, and a lot of times young men end up with those type of wicked father figures because those guys were raised without father figures. So they in turn grew up to become wicked niggas that are leading the youth to be wicked niggas. But if you had a society that was built upon the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, strong men would come together and get rid of all that bullshit. But continue reading. It says, where was I at? Lacking the father figure. It says, they then turn to the internet to seek refuge, right? Like I said, they sitting on the computer all damn day long, just indulging folly. But continuing, it says, though they may get some valuable piece of advice, that's the red pill shit, but it mostly some alpha guru BS that they end up consuming religiously most of the time. Alpha guru BS. What did I say? That red pill shit. Because at the end of the day, a man doesn't sit and complain about a situation all goddamn day long. He lives his life as he knows that he should live it, and regardless of the current state of the environment that he's living in, he's going to keep his moral ways. He's going to live the way he knows that he should live, regardless of how society and the environment is around him. He's not going to just sit and complain all damn day. He's just going to live his life how he knows he should live it, to the day he goes back to the spirit realm, right? It says, what then shall be done? You need to take cognizance of the situation. You must stop feeding your brain the junk that social media presents to you constantly and infinitely. And if you don't have this truth, Spirit and this truth, this wisdom and knowledge of understanding from Yahweh Shemel Shah, you do not need to be on any type of social media. Instagram, Twitter, that is TikTok, that is a breeding ground for all type of debauchery, wickedness, and filth. Even us that we're in the truth, we have to monitor a lot of the shit that we're exposed to. We have to monitor a lot of the shit that we're exposed to and be careful not to indulge in certain shit too much. Because we can fall into certain devices and certain traps that'll deter us from the path that we need to constantly be on. Right? Continuing reading, it says, you have to stop and ask yourself, what are you doing? Right? That's being self-aware. The scriptures speak about examining thyself. You have to stop and ask yourself, what are you doing? Is this the man you want to be, consuming dumb and utterly sexualized content, eating shit that you know is poison to your body, laying on the couch all day, playing video games or watching Netflix for hours, or drooling over random men online like a cartoonish wolf? Exactly. The scriptures speak about bodily exercise profiteth little, but it does say it profiteth. It profiteth little, but it profiteth. You should take care of your body. I mean, that's just basic common sense that you should have, especially coming into this truth. The Lord gave you organs, the Lord gave you a heart, the Lord gave you a brain, the Lord gave you a body with a system that needs certain nutrients and vitamins and minerals to operate properly. If you have that understanding, why the fuck would the majority of your diet consist of negative things being put into your body? How the fuck can you be able to serve your power if your physical temple is shot just because of how you desire to eat and live? That's foolish behavior, and you have to be aware of that. All right. It says it speaks about drooling over random women. We have to be cognizant of that in the truth also, because we can fall victim to that. It is you looking at women all damn late on, looking at her picture, not knowing her man is the one that took the picture. You was looking at pictures of her ass all damn day long. That's not what men do, man. Men get them a woman. If you burning like that, men go and get them a woman. And he knows how to approach a woman with confidence, all right? And he doesn't approach a woman until he knows how to approach a woman, all right? And first and foremost, a man makes sure he has his life in order before he invites a woman into his life. Don't a woman want to be in the life of a man that ain't got his shit together, especially when the economy is still up and running and you're able to at least provide for yourself somewhat. You'll be able to find a woman that will deal with your current situation, all right? If you truly, truly desire to have a woman, but you got to make sure you're providing for yourself as a man first, that you clean up after yourself, that you cook for yourself, that you know what I'm saying, you take care of your own body. You prioritize yourself first before you invite a woman into your life, right? It says, of course not, you should not do these things, but it says the sad reality is the majority of men are doing the exact same things on a daily basis, right? It says not realizing the potential harm that they are bringing upon their bodies, mind, and most worryingly, their masculinity, right? It says, hell, some don't even agree that there is anything wrong with this lifestyle. You can only feel truly content as a man until you provide, until you work on something that is bigger than yourself. And that's the key. Until a man is working on something that is bigger than himself, he's not going to have a true purpose. He's not going to feel fulfilled. He's not going to feel like there's any perfect purpose to life because he's not working towards anything that's bigger than himself. Men were designed to build and search and conquer and grow. Why do we have purpose, brothers, in this ministry? Because we're fighting for something that's bigger than ourselves. We're working towards something that's bigger than ourselves. We're actually working towards a kingdom. We have an extreme, intense purpose, all right, that gives us life, all right, that helps and feeds into us being men and growing into being better men, right? I'm gonna drop down to the bottom. It says, as a man, you must know that men were meant to build and lead. You should be unpredictable and learn to take a stand for yourself as a man. Never ever simp for a girl. Develop yourself to the extent that girls chase you instead. Be humble and courageous. Be real. And that's true. When you focus on yourself as a man and you take care of your hygiene, you take care of your mental health, your spiritual health, and you work on the things that boost up your testosterone and get your confidence up, and you're not shy anymore, and you're not weak and feeble. When you go in certain areas and you approach a woman, she'll just fall into your lap most of the time if if you taking care of yourself. Like I said, if that's something, if a woman is what you really desire. But this lesson ain't really so much touching on a man getting a woman. This lesson was just touching on how men are just so much weaker. The scriptures speak about less stature, men in less stature. We're less stature than the men before us of the ancient time. And I went into this at camp, how less stature doesn't mean just physical appearance. When you go to the word stature, it also applies to like a statue. But when you look at a statue of a man, what follows behind that? Not just his appearance, but his legacy, his mindset, everything that he accomplished and everything that he lived upon, his morals and principles that he lived upon while he was alive on earth. So we are way lesser of men than our ancient predecessors, our forefathers. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to do a lesson touching on that. You know, my spirit wanted me to touch on that. So yeah, I got it off, and Lord willing, this was edifying. Till the next time I say shalom.